Hey guys, today I have for you a review of the 5th generation iPod Touch. I've had it for about almost 2 weeks, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what I think about it and how they've improved and how they haven't over the first third. I've had several of them, so I'll kind of give you a little bit of details here. You look at it, it's blue, it's engraved, it's got my name on the back. It's got this little annoying thing. So yeah, that's a little bit of the look of it. Okay, so go over a couple of the specs of it. It's got the A5 processor developed by Apple. It's also put into that specific processor is used in the iPhone 4S, and it's got plenty of power. It's definitely overpowered for an iPod, in my opinion. It's got more than enough power than you'll ever need. As far as the design, they keep the same round edge design. Not much has changed about that. One thing I really like about this is they use the same aluminum as they use on the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air, as well as they're just turning to this aluminum unibody enclosure for their devices because it's much more sturdy. The iPhone 5 is a similar design. It's a little bit thicker, but we'll have that review up for you in a couple of months. This one over the previous generation, 3rd gen, 1st gen, 2nd gen, all of them, this is about half the weight. So that is the best feature I like about this thing, is it's so light, it's so, sturdy. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. It's got plenty of power, like I said. And another good feature is the 4-inch Retina display. Same Retina display that is used on the iPhone 5, which is, in my opinion, awesome. It looks absolutely stunning. Looking at it from an angle, it looks like it's a piece of paper, but you guys are having a hard time seeing that on the video, but we'll turn it side here for you so you can kind of, you're not going to be able to see the full, let me turn down the brightness, maybe that'll help you guys. Okay, here we go. Now y'all can see the screen a little bit better. So that's the brightness almost all the way down, but like I said, it's a Retina display. It's absolutely stunning. As far as the speaker goes, it has an onboard speaker, and it's impressively loud, surprisingly. Now, from the 1st gen, it didn't have a speaker, didn't have anything really in it. It was based off the iPhone 1, so, obviously this is a huge improvement if you have one of the first, even 2nd gen iPod Touches. This is a big improvement. Now, my big annoyance with the design of this is this new 5-megapixel camera. It's really pretty cool. It's got a flash and everything. It's basically the same as what's in the 4S.
LED.
It does have an LED for the flash. It is not flush. So you get a little bit of wiggle movement if it's trying to sit flat on the table. That is a huge annoyance. At one point I thought it was bent. I didn't realize it was the camera. So that's my only real design, complaint. Now this little thingamajig for the handband, I guess if you're going to use this as a camera or camcorder or anything like that, maybe it's good to have if you're going to hold it up and try to take pictures from distance and not want to drop it. But daily use, I think it's kind of unnecessary. As far as the camera it has on board, it's a 5-megapixel iSight camera, same one that is used on the 4S. This is pretty much the way I look at this iPod. It's pretty much got the hardware of the 4S except for the screen. So same processor, same camera. The best thing about this one over the last generation is it has the capability of filming in 1080p video versus 720p or 720i, excuse me, in the last generation. The front-facing camera is 1.2 megapixels. Again, it's about par with the iPhone 4S. Some of the actual hardware inside internally complaints that I have about it is the brightness, as I was showing you earlier. In all 4 generations before this one has had an auto feature underneath this specific menu because it had an ambient light sensor built in. Well, I read a lot about this, and Apple claims that they ran out of space, so they couldn't put an ambient light sensor in here, which is kind of annoying because I always like to use the auto light feature. So there is no ambient light sensor, so really the whole auto brightness is out. You have to do it manually yourself. Which I guess isn't a really big deal, but it is kind of annoying. As far as The RAM, it's got 512 megabytes of RAM, which is, again, plenty for an iPod. Surprisingly enough, though, the battery life is very, very good. I'm very impressed. I've used it, like I said, for about 2 weeks, and I watch a lot of Netflix on it, as well as listen to music, and I have Spotify, so I use a lot of Spotify as well. And I can watch several hour-long episodes of whatever on Netflix, as well as still have several hours of video playback, music playback, anything you're really thinking about. It all works really well. I'm going to say heavy use, it'll last about 6 hours. So that's, about 3 times better than what it was in the previous generation. So it's not too bad. Now this specifically is the 32 gig model, and it costs $299 from Apple directly, and that's where I got it, hence the engravement. It's not too shabby, but for $299 you can buy a lot more. But for what you're getting for this price, compared to the iPhone 5 being starting at $645, if you don't want an iPhone 5, but you want, all the great features of the iPhone, such as video and the screen and just the power of the App Store, Apple App Store, it's definitely a big improvement as far as versus the knockoffs like Android-based media players. The sound card in this thing is phenomenal. They've continued to increase the quality of the sound that can be produced out of the 3.5 jack, and another big positive to this is it has Bluetooth 4.0, and with Bluetooth 4.0 you get more a higher quality kilobyte per second ratio that can be transmitted wirelessly to those devices. Now personally, I drive a car with Bluetooth capability, and I was using my phone before I got this on Bluetooth, and that has Bluetooth 2.0, and the difference in quality is phenomenal compared to compared to my Android phone. So all in all, I think this is a pretty sturdy device. I would definitely recommend it to those who really like iPods and have kept with iPods. If you're
and that's one thing I will add. That's one thing Apple has gotten better than Android at.
Absolutely.
The consistency of the sound quality across all their products.
Absolutely.
Is definitely it's much more consistent.
It's more advanced than anything else out there, and I've had an iPod since they had the first iPods invented with the click wheel. I don't know if you guys remember those. I got the very first iPod Touch when it came out. I am a strong believer of iPod, but I have not upgraded until more recently, and I've had my iPod first gen for a long time. Josh over here has had an iPod Touch third gen.
And I probably won't be upgrading.
And he probably won't be upgrading. Now, because I had a first gen iPod Touch, and this is 5 years ahead, keep in mind here, the iPhone 1 is compared to the iTouch 1. Same hardware, etc. So, huge leap in technology in 5 years. Now, I definitely recommend it if you have a first or gen to upgrade to the 5th gen. If you have a 4th or 3rd gen, I would wait a couple more years until they come out with the iPhone or iPod 6th generation, whatever the hell they come out with, who knows. But as far as a device that has great sound quality, that has awesome portability, great durability, and it's just an all-around great device, I'm going to give it like a 4.5 out of 5. The only thing that really annoys me is this camera, and that's what I'm going to knock the 0.5 off. And the ambient light sensor, I think they really could do better on that. But overall, I think this is a great iPod, and I will look forward to seeing what Apple has to bring in the future. Now, it did come with these new earbuds, but I'll tell you guys about that a little bit later on another video. But yeah, we'll discuss that later. So just click on this link, and I'll take you to the video about these specifically, and I'll kind of let you know what I think about these. I could spend a lot of time, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time. So,
and my hands are getting tired.
If you're debating buying one of these, do it. If you have the $300 to spare. And that's all I have to say about that. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I look forward to seeing what questions, comments, etc. that you'd like to ask me. And
they come in pretty colors.
They do. They come in all kinds of pretty colors. So comment below if you haven't subscribed. You don't have to, but we are planning on doing a lot more of these reviews. So if you're interested in what we have to say, then subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.
Peace.